Hello, everyone. It's Angela here with Christi on Women Talk Construction, and we're excited to welcome our next guest, Kate Strauss with Galvanize Law. Kate's not swinging hammers, but she is breaking down legal barriers and empowering the construction world with her expertise. As an attorney who is all about innovation and advocacy, she is paving the way for a stronger, smarter industry. So let's get into this.
Woohoo!
Yay, Kate. Welcome.
Thank
Can
you
you
so much.
and Kate's actually in Colorado right now. So share with our audience a little bit about yourself and what you're doing and
Yeah,
that cool nonprofit that you support.
I absolutely will. So, my law firm is called Galvanize Law Group, and we're located in Denver, Colorado. And we are specifically a construction based law firm. And so, our clients are subcontractors, general contractors, architects and engineers, building material suppliers. So, we basically focus specifically on the industry. And so, my day to day is talking with and helping my clients deal with kind of all of the things that come up as they're operating and running construction businesses in the Colorado market. But the nonprofit that I was talking to you about is called Transportation Construction Girl, and it is the coolest nonprofit going in Colorado. So, Transportation Construction Girl has a mission to introduce young women to the construction industry and to the trades specifically. Every year they do a Transportation Construction Girl Day, which is sponsored by all different types of construction professionals. So the big general contractors are there, some of the municipalities are there, the equipment suppliers are there. And so this is for girls only. Last year, I think they had over 2,000 girls coming from schools, kind of
Nice.
ages, I want to say like 8 to
Oh my
15,
gosh.
16, right? And they were
Oh,
all
wow.
there participating in the different activities that they have. So they're operating equipment, they're filling potholes, they're painting, they're landscaping. It's just
Very
a
cool.
really, really cool day, and it's very empowering. Getting to watch those girls just light up as they realize that they could do these things too. That
Hmm.
hands-on demonstration, it's really wonderful. So yes, so Galvanize Law is a proud sponsor of Transportation Construction Girl, and we're joking about what we can do for Transportation Construction Girl this year because I don't know that 8-year-olds want to fill out contracts, but we'll
No, they
figure
don't.
something out for them.
Nice, nice. Start them early. Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Well, let's dive into some questions. Kate, so your firm blends law and construction in such a unique way. What sparked your passion for supporting this industry through legal expertise? Because it can't be easy, and we certainly need your help. So, how do you do it?
Well, you know what's funny? I learned what I do now the same way anybody learns in the construction industry, like one project at a time, one client at a time, one issue at a time. But the thing that really motivates me are my clients. What I really love about all of my construction clients is that they're real people in the real world building real things. And I admire and support the work that they're doing. And I really appreciate the relationship I have with them just as real people. Sometimes lawyers, I think, can come across as being a little highfalutin, um, maybe kind of seeming a little too
No.
esoteric, right? But with my clients, what I love is that they come to me with problems and we figure out how to work on them.
Mm,
So, there's a back charge issue or a delay issue, and we
right.
think about like what's going on in the project, how do we fix it, how do we document the file, what's like our next step and our next plan.
Hmm.
And so getting to actually help with real problems is something that I love. And I love helping them be strategic and think about how to build their business. And so I think you asked about one of the things that was a spark for me.
Yeah.
Well, one of my first sparks was one of my drywall clients who I was representing on a job site injury case. And up
Mm.
until that point, I had mostly just been sort of doing litigation on the insurance side of the world. But this drywall client was like, well, you're my attorney now. And I
Okay.
was like a 3-year attorney, and he's like, "You're my attorney now. I don't like lawyers. I like you. You're my attorney now, so you're gonna figure these things out for me." And I was like,
Okay.
"Well, I guess I will." But yeah, I think having that connection with really genuine people and then having them
Yeah.
believe in
Mhm.
me in every case and every client, you learn more, you become more of an expert in the different
Yeah.
areas of the industry. You start to recognize the issues your problems are your clients are going to have, and then you start to put together those resources for them. And that's really shaped the entire way we've developed Galvanize Law, because Galvanize Law will be 5 years old in July. And
Oh,
so looking
congratulations.
at all of those different parts and pieces and thinking about how can I holistically put together materials and resources and
Mhm.
education so that we are the best type of support we can be for our clients. That's kind of how we grew.
And one of the things I want to throw in there is people that aren't in the construction industry don't realize the vast amount of challenges we come up with every single day.
Mhm.
And it's not just in the field, right? You know,
Right?
we have a plethora of things in the field, but those field challenges a lot of times turn into legal challenges.
They do.
And if
Mhm.
you have a legal team like yours, to me, it seems like a business owner could increase their revenue much quicker because they're not on the back end trying to figure out what went wrong and what's that going to cost me kind of thing. So I love what you're doing.
Yep, and
Mhm.
I love getting to them early because,
Mhm.
Yes.
if the lawsuit has already been filed and they're coming to
Right.
me, I don't have nearly as much ability to really what I have is the ability to say, "Let's talk about how you're gonna do it better the next time."
Next time. Yeah. I
Uh-huh,
mean, there's
but
nothing you can do to reverse it, but
no,
they're
no, then I'm dealing with the cards that I've been dealt,
right.
which, that's also my job as an
Yes.
advocate for my clients.
Well, we love a good origin story, and I have to know
Mm.
what was the personal moment. Obviously, you told us about the drywall story,
Right.
but led you to say, "I am going to be the legal powerhouse construction needs." Was it the noticing the needs were there? Was it aha, I love this. I love being on the construction site. What was it? Do you love a set of blueprints like me?
I do love a set of blueprints, and I love a set of topos also, right? When you're dealing with issues on defects and why you have
Not
a
me.
grading bust and everything. So, I was doing a lot of, like I kind of mentioned, that litigation work and doing a lot of construction defect litigation work also. And it was being consistently in this place with my clients of being like, okay, but why did you sign this contract?
Mm,
Like, how did we get here? What would make sense for you to do differently in the future? And really starting having those conversations that I think sparked the passion in me to be like, here's a need that we have in this market, not just to have people, after something goes wrong, identify that they need legal counsel. And I think that what I've seen so much with my clients is, and again, this is the thing I love about construction professionals is they go build. I mean, they're good at something, they're out in
mhm,
the field, and so many times what they're doing is outpacing the back end growth in their business because
right.
they're kind of going and blowing. They're out there doing it, they've got the
Mhm.
momentum, they're super excited
Mhm,
about what they're doing. And they don't always recognize that there is a use for legal
mhm.
help and strategy and risk management and everything
Until
until
it's
they're
too late.
in a litigation. Right. So it was really that process of being in litigation scenarios with clients and saying, I really want to help you do better on the front end. I want to
Mm,
talk about what's going to be useful for your business. And so that was part of why one of the first trade associations I joined was American Subcontractors Association of Colorado. And I chair the Women of Construction Committee for that association now, and
Mm.
nice.
love doing that. But that was sort of the genesis of really trying to just be trade facing and talking with people about what are you doing? How are you doing it? How can I help you do this better? What kind of education and organization would make sense?
That's so amazing. I'm gonna ask a question that every new construction owner probably thinks, not asks, but thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And, just from the conversations that I get to have with women across the country that are, owners and executives, the ones that are just starting, the owners and executives that I'm friends with, they are very successful. That they already know all these things that what you're talking about, how important it is to have legal
Mhm.
counsel, how important it is to have somebody on the back end. But a new business that's just trying to get started, trying to make ends meet, what would you say to them if they thought that's too expensive? I can't start that right now. I think that's important to get that message out, because that is going to be the mentality of new business owners, right? They don't have a ton of money to start. So I'd love for you to share with them, how do they do that? How do they get that forward thinking business wisdom from a lawyer and still be able to fit that in their budget?
Right. That's an excellent question, because you're right. I think a lot of people hear me talking about how, what I do with my clients and think sounds great if I could afford it. I do a lot of education, and I do it usually through the trade associations that I partner with. So I just think if you're starting out and you haven't looked in to see what kind of trade associations are available in your market, do it. I mean, here in Colorado, we've got the Subcontractors Association. I teach with Rocky Mountain Masonry Institute. I've taught with Colorado Roofing Association. There are absolutely associations in your market that are probably relatively inexpensive, all things considered, for you to join, that are offering free education that you should absolutely, not just as a business owner, be taking advantage of, but sending your people to. If you're going to have somebody who's going to be in your office and is doing your estimating and your bidding, get them to one of the contracts type of classes that we teach. And those are usually free to members, or like $15 to members. So I think that that it just for sort of like a broader perspective, sometimes new business owners feel very overwhelmed with
They do.
kind of keeping your eyes forward and like just go, 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 produce, get the jobs done, but kind of getting a little more horizontal, right? In terms of what else do I need to put in place, and what are the resources out there? Those trade associations are big return on investment, I think, because they have so many resources available.
Thank you. I love that you're focused on educating. I think that those kind of people are the kind of people that businesses want to do business with.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Kate, innovation is finally being adopted in construction, and that's through innovative ideas or innovative technologies. And we know you're all about innovation. What's one legal trend or change that you're excited about that could be making, that could make the construction industry more welcoming to the field that you're seeing in the legal aspect?
So probably everybody you talk to talks about artificial intelligence and generative AI. ChatGPT is a little bit scary because it will generate legal magical terms. So you can't rely on it quite yet to tell you like true case law, but there are a lot of generative AI tools that are coming out toward the construction industry, especially ones that are related to contract review and revisions, that have so much power to reduce the amount of time that you are taking as a business owner to review your own contracts, to give you meaningful feedback about what should be in there. The way that generative AI is evolving in terms of sort of reducing barriers to access, right? On the legal side of the world, on the business side of the world, I think it's super interesting. And one of the things we're working with our clients on is finding the best ways to find tools that are going to be really collaborative for me and my clients, so that they can be like, hey, I ran this first search, and here's the 5 things I want you to check. And we can reduce the amount of legal spend on it from like 3 hours of my time to 15 minutes of my time. That is so powerful.
That's really great.
And I'm super excited about.
You're not spending a ton of time on research, which is great too.
Yeah. It's working to make businesses better, faster, and cheaper is definitely where I see generative AI taking us, and that's really exciting.
Well, let's get personal for a second. That's exciting. Actually, I'm already thinking of it in the news topic that we need to talk about when it comes to generative AI with you and your legal wisdom. But we always like to ask women who run a household and have kids at home, or maybe they don't, but women tend to take on a lot of responsibilities, right? We volunteer, we take care of the bills at home, or maybe we are just running just cooking dinner every night is a very big chore for me. I don't know
know.
about you.
Sometimes it's like pizza. I give up.
It's like, whatever. What am I going to come up with again tonight that everybody's going to like? That's like the challenge of my life. But
And then you have to clean it up. It's worse.
no, it's so bad. Anyway, what's a quirky habit or a ritual you have that keeps you grounded while tackling big cases, home stuff, and your clients?
I will tell you that, especially when I'm in trial, because trial is all you do is trial when you're in trial. That is like 5 a.m. to like 10 p.m. Of your day is you're in trial. You are focused on what you're doing right now and what you're getting ready for the next day. The amount of sort of anxiety and pressure that can be overwhelming. And so for me, it's meditation. It's non-negotiable. I have to wake up and at least block out 15 minutes to start that day where I just get some meditation in, ground myself, think about, being myself in the moment, remind myself that I am safe, that I am whole, that there is nothing wrong, because your brain gets you. Your brain has you feeling like, I'm not anxious. I'm not safe. Things are going to go wrong. Like all of that mental chatter, just you have to find a way to be like, nope, my body is here. I'm rooted right here. I am safe. I am present. Like I am going to go tackle this day. So for me, that's the big one.
What app do you listen to? What do you listen to? What app?
I like Insight Timer is my app, and Insight Timer has a clock on it, and it's free. It's a free app, by the way, and it has a timer. Exactly, it's got a timer on it that you set to do like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You can set little like halfway point reminders if you feel like sometimes you get a little lost when you're meditating. You're like, when is this going to be over?
There goes my head again, right? What am I having for dinner?
Exactly. Yes. So I really like that one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's great. We like to also share resources with our followers so they can hear too what you're listening to.
Thank you for that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So in other words, you probably, audience, by the way, before we get started with you, Christi has us doing some breathing techniques. So Kate probably was very familiar with those and didn't think we were wackos.
I did not. I loved it.
I think 5 years ago when we would have done that, people would have been like, these two are weird.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense to do a breathing exercise like that, because I think you feel like how your energy like lifts up when we get excited and we like are really engaged in a conversation, but sometimes it gets a little too frenetic. Like just that breathing and getting grounded again is amazing. I love that you guys do that.
Yeah. So Chris, I don't know if you know this, but Christi and I did a TEDx Clemson talk last year, and it's out there right now. And one of the things we talk about is the fact that our industry needs a lot more people. In fact, they need like 1 million.
Yep.
Really quickly.
The qualified labor shortage is a true thing, and we've seen it coming for over a decade. Our industry has been talking about being on the cusp of these problems, and now they're here.
Yeah, exactly. So we're on a mission to add 1 million people to the construction workforce. So how do you see your legal work helping make that dream a reality?
Right. So we talked a little bit about the partnerships that I have and my involvement in the industry. Transportation Construction Girl being a big one to really help girls understand that they can be a part of this industry, that there's a true path forward to them. And in so many ways, I mean, it's a total no-brainer, right? If you know you need 1 million people, and I'm preaching to the choir here, if you know you need 1 million people and there's less than 11% of women represented in the construction industry, that seems like a good place to start. So
math.
Exactly. So I love partnering with Transportation Construction Girl. We have also partnered before with Boys Hope, Girls Hope in Colorado and did a session for their scholars talking about paths forward in the construction industry and things they can be thinking about. Boys Hope, Girls Hope is a Catholic nonprofit that is oriented toward helping lower socioeconomic students
Nice.
both achieve scholarship and become successful. And then I think that so much of what we do just as Galvanize Law in terms of hiring our summer law clerks and trying to get all of my attorneys out in the community and partnered up with some of our trade associations. If you look at our social media, you'll see that we try to be everywhere. But really just sort of being out there, promoting the industry, improving the connections in the industry. I am an equal opportunity employer, right? I
Yeah.
hire whoever is great for the job, but every time I
Right.
find another woman attorney who I'm just super excited to promote and get her out there and get her
Nice.
making the same type of connections. Those are all the ways that I see us growing our industry together collaboratively.
I love it.
I love it. Listeners, did you hear that? You need to get on Galvanize Law's Instagram page.
Yes, like and
LinkedIn.
follow us, please.
Like, follow, comment. That's how you're going to get a hold of Kate if you need legal advice as well. So Kate just laid down the law in the best way possible,
Mm-hmm.
pun intended. Your energy is exactly what this industry needs to grow stronger and better. Thanks for being the legal expert for Women Talk Construction listeners. And we are really excited about, some of these in the news where we bring you on and talk about some of these hard things. We would love to use your expertise for wisdom for others that are starting out, or maybe they've been in business a long time and haven't run into a snag where they needed legal advice. That does happen occasionally, not near as much as it used to when I started in the industry. But thank you, Kate, for being on, and we really appreciate all that you do.
I loved our conversation, and thank you so much for having me.